Welcome back. Welcome back. He is the maestro behind the soundtrack of our lives. Now, I know that sounds like a cliche, but it is. He is. From Whitney to Celine. If I read off David Foster's credits, the Jason Show would be on for an entire week. David is sharing the stage with his wife, the amazing Katharine McPhee, for a series of concerts. Look at this.
When we lose our way,
when shadows fill our day and lead us to a place, guide us with your grace to a place where we'll be safe.
David and Katharine have some shows coming up around the Midwest this May. Audience, give it up for the legend himself, producer David Foster. Hi, buddy. Hi, David. How you doing, David?
Morning.
How you doing, David?
I'm doing great, thank you. Hi to Minneapolis.
Oh, yes. Music Town. We love our music scene here, David. You know that. We're a music-loving city.
Of course.
David, this is such a good idea, my friend. Where did you, and how did this come about?
Well, Katharine and I met 18, 19 years ago on American Idol, and we then worked together many, many times after that. We both got married to somebody else. I know it's a strange pairing, the two of us. We're not a conventional couple, but we have so many things in common. And once we started going together, actually, during the pandemic, we just started this little show on Instagram, and then it kind of spread. We thought, why not take this on the road? I've been on the road for many years on my own. It's much more fun with my wife.
I would imagine. Yeah, absolutely. You know, part of the show, and I think it's what I'm going to be looking most forward to, because I say it all the time on this show. I love a good behind-the-scenes story. You give so many of those during the show, David. I was wondering, how did you curate it, my friend? How did you decide which ones of the hundreds you have?
Well, you kind of go for the juicy ones, and we change it up every night. I have some great Celine stories, some great Whitney stories. The night that I made Celine sing the ultra high note and all by myself, she hated me. She wrote about it in their book, 2 pages about how horrible I was. And that's good fodder. And of course, we're good friends still, and made some great music. But we just have a great time. And Jason, I love to go to the audience and get people to sing. And it's always random. I never pre-plan anything. And sometimes you get really lucky and get great people. Other times they're terrible, but it doesn't matter because it's a rocky moment and the audience loves it.
Absolutely. One of my favorite stories, first of all, everything that you do, I have to say, we were singing, David, this, because most of the staff here, we're in our late 40s. Do you know what we were doing this morning, preparing for you to celebrate you? We were singing the St. Elmo's Fire soundtrack, David. That's how much we love you.
Well, I love that, and you're a little young for my demo, but it's okay, Jason. I'm a little too good looking at, actually.
I love it. Can I ask you, Dolly Parton wrote about the moment that she was in Hollywood and heard Whitney doing I Will Always Love You for the first time on the radio. She talked about how that was the first time she heard it. David, let me ask you, obviously that you were it. Other than Whitney, you were it with Whitney's version. My friend, when did you know that it was going to be what it became?
Well, we tried a couple of other songs, Jason, and they didn't work. And then somebody came up with this idea. Of course, it's a little country song, beautiful song, but it just came to me like I don't want to say a vision because that's heebie-jeebie, but the whole thing unfolded in my head. How can I make this great for Whitney? And it just came to me. It was kind of a gift. And I think probably your audience knows in their own work when something just happens, it falls out of you and it comes through you and not from you. And it comes so fast that you can hardly handle it. And I just saw this vision of how this song would be with the big moment and the boom and the high note I didn't really realize it would be all that it was, but we thought we had something pretty special.
Is it true, David? She didn't want to do it, did she? She didn't. The story, the way that I've heard it was Kevin and you approached her. She said she didn't hear herself in the song. Is that how it went, my friend?
Well, that's not true, Jason.
Oh.
Would you like to know the truth?
Oh. I love that.
Oh.
Get your tickets, people. That's called a tease. Yeah. You're doing, David, you're working on Betty Boop, aren't you? Tell me about that.
I am, and we had a great 6-week run in Chicago, right up sort of near you, right? Where you are?
Yep. We're in, and the show airs in Chicago too. Yeah.
It was fantastic, and we learned a lot about our show, and we hope to go to Broadway next year. It's been a long process, 15, 20 years, but we finally arrived, and we have a great director in Jerry Mitchell, and we're going to Broadway.
What is the biggest, David, so many different genres you touch, what is the biggest thing what's the hardest thing to do with Broadway? What's the biggest challenge when you're writing for Broadway?
I love this question, Jason. You're good. You should be national.
We kind of are, my friend. I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you.
Yeah. Like the big three,
Yeah.
So that I can tune in on, anyway. Not being the boss. That was the toughest part for me, because I'm used to being the boss, and it's a very collaborative effort.
Oh, a little bit, not releasing the control. Am I hearing you right? Just kind of putting the baby out there and not controlling it to its end.
I'm a control freak. Just ask my wife.
Well, I can't wait for this, David. I appreciate your time. I could talk to you for a half hour, and always was a fan, always will be. Thank you, David.
Love it. Thanks. We look forward to being in Minneapolis. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, buddy. The show is called An Intimate Evening with David Foster and Katharine McPhee. They have tour dates coming up in Iowa, Wisconsin, and right here in good old Minneapolis. If you're watching from other cities, go to davidfoster.com to see where they're coming near you. We'll be right back after this.